If you would have asked me what was the best anime in 2023, I probably would have given you some kind of answer along the lines of Gundam, the Witch from Mercury, because that's the kind of style I like. I like political intrigue and I like cerebral, uh, mind games and stuff like that. It's why Code Geass is my favorite anime of all time. I found that my favorite anime for the season is actually nothing like it. In fact, it looks like this. 無敵の笑顔だらすメディア知りたいその秘密ミステリアス抜けてるとこさえ彼女のエリア完璧で嘘つきな君は天才的なアイドル様 This is Oshi No Ko, and it's one of the most brilliantly animated animes we saw all throughout 2023, as well as being some of the best story I've seen from an anime in a long time. It connects you to the characters really well. And we're going to go through and we're going to kind of break down. I don't want to spoil everything, so I'll leave a few things here or there, but there are a few topics I want to address and touch on about just how this is a general summary of the anime. When you sit down and watch this anime, you're like, okay, 11 episodes. And then you click on the first episode and you realize this is an hour and 30 minutes. Oshi No Ko starts off with a feature film and starts completely different from the way it is going to proceed for the rest of the anime. Episode 1 starts us with the up-and-coming rising star that is the idol group B Komachi, specifically Hoshina Ai, who is the center of this idol group. She has dazzled everyone who's been near her, and she works with a company called Strawberry Production. Hoshina Ai is one of those people that it seems like she just does not know how to feel anything towards anyone. It starts with her learning how to be a better person, and during her internal dialogue throughout the entirety of the first episode, you see that she struggles with loving anyone, caring about anyone, until she meets a guy who we still don't know his identity of, even after watching the full first season. And she gets pregnant, and she's pretty young, all things considered. She has the kids in secret, and when she has the kids, she goes to see this doctor. The doctor is actually our main character, which you wouldn't think until you get to episode 2, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. So the doctor she sees for all her prenatals and helping her through her pregnancy, and he is obsessed with idols, specifically Ai Hoshina, but not in a creepy way, but almost in a creepy way. You'll see what I mean when you watch. Anyways, that's not the only idol lover we have here. The doctor also happens to be helping a cancer patient, and she is also obsessed with Hoshina Ai, and they bond off of this. The girl, very young girl, is starting to crush on this doctor who spends a lot of time with her because she's bedridden, she can't leave the hospital, and they become close. The same way as she feels towards him, but this is basically her first love. The first boy who's ever really cared about her in her eyes. And she lives vicariously through idols because she'll never be able to experience that. This is our second main character. Again, you wouldn't know it, but don't worry, because I'm going to do like a thing where I blow your fucking mind. It comes time to have the children. Ai shows up. She is pregnant with 2 twins, and it is time to have the twins. Doc steps out, has a cigarette, as she's on her way. He knows he's about to be prepped for this. He knows he's about to go in. He's like, holy shit. What? He's trying to come to terms with the fact that she's an idol. She's having a kid. She's still amazing. You know, he's just kind of trying to process everything. And while he's outside, one of her stalkers shows up and murders him right there. Simultaneously, the little girl who is a cancer patient dies at the same time. And while that's happening, Ai goes into labor. And here,
mind blow number one.
The doc and the cancer patient are reincarnated as the twins of Hoshina Ai. And they retain all of their thoughts and memories from their prior life. This is some weird isekai stuff, but without going to another world. So I guess it's just reincarnation stuff? Anywho, they get reborn into this body. We're going to refer to them as their new names, which is the doc is named Aqua, and the little girl is named Ruby. Aqua and Ruby, you will notice, immediately have this special eye. On one has the left one has the right one, and their mom has the special eye in both sides. So they're kind of like together, they're like a full of her mom. It's not, to be clear here, the little eye effect has nothing to do, like it's not like a special eye per se. I think for me, at least what I've gathered out of it, is it's supposed to be a metaphor. It's supposed to be like a signifier for this person is special. This person is a phenom. This person captures people's hearts. You know what I mean? Which is why Hoshina Ai has both of her eyes special like this. Anyways, so Ai has the kids and she just feels nothing towards them. And on top of this, she's trying to manage becoming one of the biggest idols in all of Japan and keeping it on the down low, because obviously, if you don't know, in Japan, a lot of the idol fan base is men. No figure, right? And most of those men want to fantasize about being with this person. So it's kind of like a no-no to A, have a boyfriend, and B, having kids. You don't have a career as an idol. So Ai goes through this thing where she's struggling to keep her emotions intact because she doesn't understand why she doesn't feel love towards these kids like she feels like she should. She is at the same time trying to keep this hidden from everyone, and she is trying to just be the best mom she can be and hope for the best, right? She's carrying two phones, and one's for work, one's for private life, and the Strawberry Productions team is just kind of helping her along, you know, throughout the background of it all. We go through some life events with the kids and Ai, and one of the things that happens is Ai puts Aqua into acting at a young age. He gets this awesome part, and here he meets another little girl who's a phenom actor, but she's worked in a lot of things. She works really hard, and she takes acting very seriously, but she's kind of like a diva on set, and she's kind of snobby. Again, we're talking about children, so it is what it is, but her name is Arma Kana, and she looks down on Aqua at first, and then Aqua goes to deliver his acting, and his acting is phenomenal. It enraptures her entirely, and she just becomes bewildered by this kid who doesn't have any experience and just nails this acting part. And one of the reasons he's in it is because Ai is also front and center in this movie. And so there's this moment. Then Ruby basically tells I want to be an idol too. She, you know, her previous life, she never had a chance to, but it's what she always wanted to do. Now she's been reincarnated, so this is her goal. Get their own place. Ai becomes more and more popular. She gets more and more fame, more and more money. And then she moves into this apartment on her own, and there's a knock at the door. Aqua goes and answers the door, not thinking anything of it. When he answers the door, in front is a hooded man, the same stalker who killed him in his prior life. Stricken with fear entirely, Ai comes to his defense immediately and is stabbed. She manages to push him out of the door, but she's taken, a giant stab wound, and she falls back onto the door. And in this moment, in her death, she realizes her children are the only thing she's ever loved. And she didn't understand the feelings she had towards them, but it was love. It was love that she had never felt before. And in this moment, while she's bleeding out on the floor, she holds them close to her. She tells them how much she loves them. And it's the first time she's ever told anybody she loves them. And they cry, and she dies, and it just rips your fucking soul out. Whoever made this is a sadistic fuck. Because let me tell you, man, if you can watch this with a straight face and it not at least make you want to cry or make you a little teary-eyed, you're just not human. And in these last moments, she tells them, you're going to be amazing. You're going to be an actor, and you're going to be an idol, and you're going to conquer the world. And cut 10 years later. Aqua and Ruby are now in high school. We see the inner thoughts of Aqua, and we come to realize his whole goal in life is to find who murdered Oshi No Ai. And he'll do anything he can to get it, including being in an industry that was literally the very epitome of what caused his mom / idol's death. But in one last final moment, I don't even remember how it happens, but he finds out one very important piece of information.
Mind blow number 2.
The stalker found out Oshi No Ai's location because her baby daddy, the father of Aqua and Ruby, wanted her dead and is literally responsible for her death. So Aqua is on a quest to find his father to put him away. And this sets up the scene for the rest of the anime. I've now spent 15 minutes talking, and it was just episode 1. We're going to skip around a little bit more here, but episode 1 is such a big deal. It's such a fucking... man. Honestly, you could probably watch just episode 1 and be content almost. Right? It could almost end there. But we want to see more. Aqua and Ruby head to school for the first time. And on their way, they happen to run into none other than Aruma Kana. And Kana has spent the last 10 years completely obsessed with Aqua, trying to just continue her career and not seeing Aqua anywhere. Wondering what's going on, what happened, why is he not continuing his career? He's too talented not to. She stumbles into him, and she basically just baits him into taking a role for her. She's working on this really shitty adaptation of a manga that, ironically, Ruby, Aqua, and Kana herself have all read and hold pretty dear. The problem is Kana got baited into a show that basically they didn't give a shit about. They just threw every boy band model idol look-alike in there that has no acting skill, and the show's terrible. It's got 1 star. No one likes it. And her thing is if she can get Aqua, who she knows is an incredible actor, to join this, she can actually finish this project with some degree of being happy with it and you know, making it worthwhile for the creator of the manga, who was horrified by whatever the project had become, which is something we can totally relate to for those of us who are comic book fans, for those of us who are manga fans. I mean, Jesus Christ, don't even get me started on the Cowboy Bebop anime live action adaptation. Jesus fuck. So, all of this, Kana is not acting at her best because her acting incredibly well and then being surrounded by novice actors just makes everything seem off. So she is literally kneecapping herself. And she baits him in unknowingly by mentioning the producer's name, who happens to be a contact that was found in Hoshina Ai's phone, which, side note, he spent 4 years trying to guess her passcode to get into the phone to find more information. 4 years. I believe he said it was like 45,000 combinations before he found the right one. Talk about some dedication. He goes. And the whole time he is looking for an opportunity to try to find out if this is his dad. Turns out it's not. And to him, he was like, well, whatever. But he realizes how much this means to Kana. And despite him being so obsessed with, you know, finding the killer of Hoshina Ai, he's also just trying to be a good person. He embodies his mother's killer because his role in this is that of a stalker. And as they go to shoot, on the only day they have to shoot, he changes everything. He whispers in the guy's ear, who's just like a playboy look. He basically says, "You're fucking ugly." And he baits him into fucking just flipping out on him, which is what his character was supposed to do. But this time he did it and he actually felt something. And man, when I tell you that Aqua gave a hell of a performance, dude, I mean, chills down your spine. So good. And then that gave Kana this amazing moment to like really show that she's awesome. You also find out a little bit later that Kana's life hasn't gone the way we thought it did. Like most child actors, just kind of spiraled down. This was like her opportunity to redeem herself. We cut to them being at school. Kana introduces them to the school. This school is special. The school is full of entertainers, streamers, pinup models, every kind of entertainer you can think of. Someone of that kind goes here. And while he's attending this, Ruby gets really anxious because she is not an entertainer, which is a problem for her. Meanwhile, he's talking to her adoptive mother, who was the president of Strawberry Productions, being like, "Hey, when can I be an idol?" And she's like, "Oh, well, it takes time. We got to find the right people." Aqua manages to convince Kana to join the idol group. And basically, the rest of Ruby's whole story arc is her building out this new idol group, which we later know she takes the name of Hoshina Ai's original idol group, which is Bukomachi, and revives it, which she can do because Strawberry Productions was the one who managed it. The producer from the adaptation, he meets up with Aqua on his behest and says, "Hey, I want to know more about Hoshina Ai." And he goes, "I'll give it to you, but only if you play a part in this reality show." which is again a thing to like promote really like people his age that are in the entertainment space. It's this group of people who just all look good, and they all work under this producer. I'm not really going to get into this too much, but there is one particular event that happens that I really want to get into because they do it so well. They introduce a character named Kurokawa Akane during this reality TV show thing, and she's this really, really actress who just wants to, be successful, and for some reason she's just not getting it because this isn't an act. This is just her. And if you know anything about reality TV shows, they don't necessarily tell you what to do. They're like, hey, you should try being this thing or try doing this thing. And so at some point in time, they nudge her to be like, yeah, you got to try to steal the guy from the girl that everybody's, really likes and all this stuff. And they're trying to like instigate drama. Obviously, it's a reality show. That's kind of what they're there for. It results in she snaps and slaps this girl. And because she had done her nails recently or something, she accidentally cuts this girl's face. And it's all recorded. And they air it. While the camera goes off and Akane and this girl have this really sweet moment together, and she's like, it's fine, don't worry about it, they can fix it, it's whatever, right? She gets so much hate online. I don't know if you, whoever the viewer is watching this, but I've been through my share of hate, whether it be online, whether it be in person. I've kind of always been an outsider my whole life, so I definitely understand what this girl was going through. And the worst part is it's online. She can't escape it. Every time her phone goes off, it's a Twitter post. Every time it's this, it's that. And she has to be connected to this world because that's what she signed up for. Meanwhile, she's under this immense pressure from her company to be better, to do more, to be a star in this reality show where she's done. They drive her to suicide. She just loses it. She just doesn't know. She tries apologizing, that just makes it worse. She tries this, just makes it worse. She tries that, it just makes it worse. And eventually, she just can't handle it anymore. And everyone's worried about her because, believe it or not, the reality TV group got really close throughout all this. So they're like, hey, we're worried about you. Where are you? And they go out looking for her. And she's literally on the rail of one of the like crosswalks that go over the road, and she jumps off. Aqua comes out of nowhere, grabs her and pulls her back, and she's just losing it. She's like, no, let me go. I just don't want to deal with it anymore. It's a terribly sad moment because she doesn't want anything more than to just die. I think that they really drive home that sense of, hey, remember your actions have consequences, and people on the other side of your comments that you're posting online, they're people. It's crazy because that's the world we live in, right? You post something online, someone says something bad, you just hate yourself, and then you spiral. And just the way they show that, the way it connects to us as human beings as being such a real thing that happens, it's beautiful in a sense of how tragic it is, if that makes any sense. Needless to say, Aqua does his thing and ends up kind of saving her image. One of the reality TV stars is Mimcho, who's a famous YouTuber and streamer. Remember, they're all supposed to be high schoolers. Mimcho happens to have a conversation with Aqua, and she's like, yeah, I've always wanted to be an idol. And he goes, well, do I have a place for you? Mimcho gets added to the new lineup of Bikomachi. I want to just go back to something that I always say while we're talking about this moment. This anime, if anything, has proven to me more so than anything on why you need to be there for the people around you. I say it at the end of every video. I say it, at the end of every stream, and I mean it because I know I've been in that situation. I know I've needed somebody to tell me, hey, I love you. and I appreciate you. So here's what I want you to do. If you're watching this video, I want you to stop what you're doing right now. I want you to reach out to someone you love. And I want you to tell them, hey, I love you and I appreciate you. And I couldn't imagine my life without you. Whether it be your mom, your dad, your significant other, your brother, your sister. Hell, maybe it's someone you haven't talked to in a long time. You never know when they need to hear those words. So just reach out to them right now. It'll take 30 seconds and it'll make the world a better place. I promise. So the rest of the season kind of goes into Kana and how she is forced to confront her fear of failure. She's so caught up in the fact that she's been failing for so long that she doesn't want to fail. She ends up being put as the center of Bikumachi because she's the best singer. And she just thinks that now if she fails, they all fail, and she doesn't want to bring the group down with her. And it's a really beautiful moment where, you know, they just push past it and they're like, hey, look, we're here for you. We've got you. Make it happen. Oshi No Ko is beautiful in its animation, in its sound design. And there are so many reasons why you should love this anime. But I think the most important part about Oshi No Ko is that it connects with us on a human level, right? The things that these characters are going through are things that we could go through, are things that we as human beings deal with. While our life isn't an anime, our life isn't a story, we can see these people who are going through these same things that we go through, and we can go, look, they got through it. And it wasn't some magical fairyland bullshit that got them through it. It was just life. They just believed and they helped one another. And I think that's the strength of this anime. And I think that's the message it's trying to get across at the end of the day is life is hard. Life is rough. The only thing you have left is the people you love and care about and who love and care about you. And that's what makes life worth living. You know what I mean? I was able to put in some clips here and do some magic with the editing here. And hopefully you'll be able to enjoy some of the animation. Obviously, I don't want Japan to come down my throat and be like, you used our anime. No fair use. Copyright claim. So, yeah. But we'll see what we can do. I hope this video does well. I enjoyed making this. I love anime, and I have recently found a new platform to watch anime on, which makes it a lot easier for me. So I'm really just going to be pumping out anime so that I can get them off my list of plan to watch. With that, I don't know how often I'll make these anime videos. Obviously, if it's something that really strikes me, Oshi No Ko was one of those. I'll make something on it. But if you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button, man. It really helps me out. It lets me know that my hard work meant something to somebody. If you like this kind of content, I can't say that you'll find more on my channel right now. I'm still building my channel. But I do a lot of gameplay content. I hope to do some more anime content in the future. I want to do some D&D content, which should be coming soon. I am one hell of a nerd, so anything nerdy will feature on the channel at some point in time.